Seattle. This and more coming up on the Main Event Status Sports Show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Main Event Status Sports Show. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. The show, of course, is brought to you by Haps TV. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Download the Haps TV app. It's where you can get this show and tons of other shows. So if you haven't done so, make sure you download this. You also get awarded some coins. So you can use that to support me, support other broadcasters out here. And those coins, of course, turn into cha-ching. You heard it right. Money. So, folks, we got Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winning quarterback, a guy who's revitalized that franchise. What's up, Mike Patton chatting, tuning in on the chat. He's revitalized that franchise, and he could be out. Y'all remember during the Super Bowl time when I said that whenever there is a dynasty possibility, that Tom Brady was the dynasty killer and that Seattle was on their way to being the dynasty, one wrong move, everything changed. And you look over time, this was a team that seems to be family oriented. This from the outside looking in, of course, and having an East Coast bias, being on the East Coast, seeing this team from the West Coast come out. This is a team I thought, they had a swagger to them. You had the Legion of Boom. You had the offense that was, run heavy, open up, pass, cool. You had the quarterback in Russell Wilson, who was young, finding his way, and later on would be somewhat of an MVP candidate. I don't know what happened this year, but that team, everything fell apart. You go back and look, it all happened with one play. It all happened with one play, in my opinion. Now, there's other things, obviously, but you go and you see that Russell Wilson threw an interception. Who gets blamed for the call? It's Pete Carroll. Then later on, Marshawn Lynch would leave. He retired. Y'all remember he retired during the Super Bowl. Thanks for the award, Mike. I appreciate that. Then Earl Thomas couldn't get that contract. Gets hurt. You see him giving the finger over to the sideline. Richard Sherman, he gets released. Richard Sherman was an all-pro player there. Somebody that you looked at and said, okay, he's going to go down probably. At that time, you was thinking maybe go down as one of the greatest of all time. He's still one of my favorite cornerbacks in the league that doesn't play for the Ravens, does not name Marlon Humphrey. But, they had this core. They had this team, this solid. They were like a family. And all of a sudden, things fell apart. But through it all, Russell Wilson was still there. And now you look, and this man, there's all the talks today. Now, the last that I heard, or to say read, I've been doing, reading things on social media. So to accurately put that statement, the last thing I read was they were not going to force a trade. However, he did have some destinations. Those destinations included the New York Jets and I believe the Chicago Bears. And I'm trying to pull this up right now. As I got hold on, I'm just checking the Facebook chat. Shout out to Kevin Crittenden. I hope I said your name right. He said, did he get released or traded? He said he did it to Carolina and Cam Newton too. But you look at those teams. He said, like, look, I don't want to get traded, but if I'm gonna get traded, I want to go to these teams. And like I said, I'm trying to pull these teams up. Bear with me because I had them earlier, of course. I forgot. All right, yeah. All right. So teams are that he would go to. This is according to Adam Schefter about 8 hours ago. Said he would want to play the Cowboys, the Saints, the Bears, and the Raiders. Now, I did see something. Okay, now Bleacher Report has reported the Jets, Dolphins, Saints, and Raiders. So it would be interesting to see Russ in one of those other places. Not gonna lie, I think that would be pretty cool, honestly. Um, thanks, Daryl, my boy Daryl Owens of the Legacy Maker Sports Network tuning in. Make sure y'all check his show out. I was just doing there. We was talking wrestling, but I do think that's interesting. You really look at everything. Um, it's just crazy. It's crazy. This was the franchise. This is the franchise guy. As Mike Patton says in the chat, he's getting tired. He said he getting tired of getting them hits from them former defensive linemen and basketball players masquerading as linemen. Roger says, yuck at the Jets it getting any good quarterback. Now, I think more so when people want to go to the Jets, it's not about the team, it's about the market, the New York. Now, let's face it. If he probably believes he can go in there, he probably sees a core. If he goes there, they do, I believe, have a very high draft pick. He can go in there and kind of make some magic. They can draft around him. Now there was a bunch of memes floating around stating how Jamal Adams is probably reacting because obviously we know he got traded from the Jets to Seattle, and I believe it was at a heavy price. So I would like to know, where do y'all think? Who would y'all like to see Russell Wilson go to? I don't think he's going to Dallas. I do think they get the deal done with Dak Prescott. It would be interesting to see him down there. I can't see him and Jerry Jones, but then again, who knows? But it would be cool to kind of see what would happen there. But I would like to see him in I wouldn't mind seeing him in Oakland, or I should say Las Vegas. I think that would be good for football. Football is always good when certain teams do well, the Raiders being one of them. Wouldn't mind seeing him in the Jets, honestly. I think when you do have a New York team doing well, it's good. And personally, I don't want to see the Giants do well. I'm just saying. I think they, sold on Daniel Jones for the longest. So I don't see them moving on from him. Chicago would be fun. You could see him on that team. And then, I mean, I think Allen Robinson is leaving, but they do have Khalil Mack. So Chicago would be a fun team to see him play for. So it's a lot of options. Definitely a lot of options for Russell. And of course, Mike Patton says he hopes he go to the 49ers. We said Russ to the Jets would be good as a 49ers fan. Let me take that back. Yeah, him, obviously Russ has beat the Niners a couple of times. So Roger says he'd like to see him stay in Seattle. But I just think the damage is done. If they lose Russell Wilson, they could fall to irrelevancy for the next 10 years. And according to reports, and I say that loosely, but according to reports, it's as if Pete Carroll is doing what he want to do, and his sons can do whatever they want to do, and Russell Wilson is tired of it. And I always thought they would go down. I've said this time and time again. I thought this would be a team that will win 3 straight Super Bowls. And shout out to my brother Mark Webster jumping in. I always thought this would be a team that win 3 straight Super Bowls. You look back at that team, like I said, that Legion of Boom. If you're a Madden player, go back and play Madden 25 and Madden 15. That team was almost unstoppable, and Russ wasn't even in his prime yet. These are his prime years. And obviously, you would think he would love to win another Super Bowl. Joe Sally says Houston would be a good fit. I don't think so. I think, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Houston deserves him or Deshaun Watson. But I don't think they would be a good fit. I don't know. They going to be rebuilding for a while, in my opinion. So I would like to see what they would do with him. And this brings me to my second point. There's no loyalty in sports. I've seen people get upset. I see people get really irritated when people talk about their teams. People be ready to come to blows. They get mad at players for leaving. You know, Roger says what damage has been done. I think Mike, he said, he tired of him not protecting. All he wants is protection. And there was a picture on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it. There was a picture on Twitter that was spot on, where it showed this is what Russell Wilson wants. Let me oh yeah, I got the share screen. Let me see. Because I'm, this was hilarious. All right. Oh, there we go. No, it should be pulling up on your screens right now. Oh, I gotta put it right there. But yeah, there it is. It says, why would he want to go to Houston? And it says right there, this is what he wants. You look at that. Look at that protection. That's all Russell Wilson wants. And you can imagine the type of damage he would do with his receivers. And he's a guy who has made receivers better. That's the thing. Like, and those guys are good, don't get it wrong, but you really knew who they were because of Russell Wilson. But again, no loyalty in sports. I see a lot of people sit up there and people will pick the team, right? Now, if you picking this team, and that's fine. You choosing this team, you love this team for all whatever, right? But like Mike just said in the chat, fans get mad at players for not being loyal, but organizations have never been loyal. I personally think, and I tell people this all the time, you as fans have a right to choose who you want to. You should have not a fan contract, but you could switch who you want to root for every year. People get on with people and call them front runners. I've done it too. But the more I think about it, you know, you're spending your money. The owners, or if you want to call them team governors or whatever, they're making their money. You're spending your money. So you're spending your money, you're investing. So shouldn't they have an obligation to put a good product on the field? A product that you will want to spend your money on? You know? So if not, um, if not, if they not going to do that for you, move on. I love the Ravens. And the one thing I can say about it is they consistently win. Now, I am going to contradict myself right now when I say that I love the Orioles, but they sit up there and don't put a good product on the field. And eventually, and I get it. It's, sometimes you be sitting there like, man, I don't want to root for this team. I'm tired of it. But and Lewis Riddick said, make the call Bears all in Wolves to Chi-Town. That would be fun to see. But when you really look at everything, that's like, I have a choice. And if I decide, you know what, I don't want to root for the Orioles no more. I want to become a Padres fan or a Dodgers fan. I have that right. I'm the one spending money. They're not paying me to be a fan. Going to some of the Facebook comments, Mark Webster, I thought he wants to stay in the NFC. Well, that's possible. I think with Vegas being right there, he probably sees a lot of opportunity off the field. So, I think that would make sense. Brian A. Line says Dallas just makes sense. Bigger platform, Jerry's World. Sierra can be almost like Jessica was with Tony Romo. Shout out to my boy Justin Mann. He just says, "Wait, what?" So there's all these possibilities on where he could go. And of course, Roger makes a joke about the Orioles. So, I mean, they're doing everything they can to win. To see him talking about Russell Wilson, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. Mike, and Brian Langford says, I'm on a franchise tag with Dallas. You know what? I'm gonna invite Brian in here, see if he comes on. I just sent him the invite because I know he is a Dallas fan, and I was there. I was a Dallas Cowboys fan. Said Jerry and the Cowboys ain't got no money at all. He ain't going to Dallas. And I know what he means is franchise tag. Pretty sure he can figure that out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send Mike an invite, and let's see if I can send Roger an invite too, so we can have a discussion, have a party if they accept it. But it's when you really sit back and look at all this, I always say you don't like people get upset, like, and shout out to my boy Joe Buck, whom I went to school with. As we got Roger coming on in. Boy, fix your internet.
Ooh, my internet?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me? Oh, snap. I gotta change my hold on. Give me 1 second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we got Brian ain't lying in here. Let's see, we get everybody in here. All right, so I brought up the fact that there's no loyalty in sports. Roger, every day of his life, always, anytime I mention the Orioles, always finds a way to make fun of them and me liking them. But at the end of the day, it's a decision I make to choose to root for them. Do y'all think fans should be spited for choosing different teams and hopping off one, as people like to say, bandwagon?
I mean, I don't think so. I think you can choose whatever team you want to root for. If like say LeBron fans, if they were Cleveland fans and then they became Miami Heat fans, and then they came back Cleveland fans again, now they LA fans. So to me, it really doesn't matter which team you choose. It's just if the product is good, then I think you should stay with the team that you're with. But if it's a player that you're indebted to, I mean, hey, go ahead and change teams. I mean, this is what we're in today. I mean, people don't stay at the same spots. As you can see, we talk about Russell Wilson, might be on the move, and we already know Deshaun Watson wants to leave Houston. So, I mean, yeah, if you're just indebted to the player, then that's cool. I mean, there's no issue with that. But if you've been a fan of the Orioles since birth, and they stink, they probably won't get better no time soon. And that's fine. That's fine too. You can be a fan of the Orioles. I mean, they'll get it together one day, hopefully, in our lifetime. But I mean, we'll see.
Well, hopefully, Brian, you've been a Cowboys fan. You said they about to be on a franchise tag with you. I've been there. I tell people I was a Cowboys fan because that's who I saw on television. And then we got the Ravens. I didn't know, like, I wasn't going to just stop being their fan. And then so for 17 years, I rooted for two teams. And then Dak Prescott, to be honest with you, started running his mouth about Cap. Didn't like it. I didn't like one black quarterback talking about another black quarterback, especially when the other black quarterback was trying to do right amongst black people. So I was like, all right, I'm done. But I don't hate them. And to be honest with you, if they go to the Super Bowl and they ain't playing the Ravens, I'm going to be rooting for them. And I still got some of my Cowboy stuff. When is enough for you? And I see people in the chat. Shout out to Guapo, Woodrow. Shout out to Angela Hayward. Guapo says, "No, choose one team." What's your thoughts?
Look, your boy is on a franchise tag, straightforward. This is what it is going for me. I'm on a 1-year deal. I almost had enough of this. So I've been a Cowboys fan since whenever, right? So as a kid, I didn't get the opportunity to really enjoy the Super Bowl because I was like 11. So I was like, okay, yeah, Cowboys, but I want to enjoy it as a grown man. I'm a grown man, and my team has won absolutely nothing. So guess what? Yes, I own the right to opt out, and guess what? It depends on how they do this year. I may consider being a free agent. I'm heavily courted. If I'm a free agent, I'm going to be heavily courted. There's one team I will never join. That's the WFT. No. You can't pitch nothing. So guess what? Honestly, though, I think Dallas is got to do something this year because I can't. I got two teams and they're stressful. I'm a Cowboys and a Celtics fan. How stressful do you think my life is right now? I should have gray coming out of my hair. It's stressful, bro.
Yeah, 2010 was great. That's NBA Finals. That was and I think Roger agreed that 2010 NBA Finals was phenomenal.
Man, that was a lovely finals, man. I appreciate Ron Artest with that 3-point shot that sealed the deal,
Oh,
man. Oh man,
oh,
it was phenomenal. To this day, man, I still go back at that and I still watch it sometimes, and I tear up a little bit.
We got Mike
I can't
Patton joining in from
doing that.
Mike. You are a 49ers fan. Now, I
Right.
mean, you've been fortunate enough to, you ain't had to deal with too many bad years, but your Bulls are starting to look like they're starting to come around. But how do you feel as far as, I say there's no loyalty in sports, so fans shouldn't have to be loyal since players shouldn't be because they should be loyal to their pockets. How do you feel in that conversation?
Honestly, hey, I've been loyal to the teams I'm with, but I on the flip side of that, I'm not mad because players on the team decide to go fill their pockets or do what they need to do is best for them.
Mhm.
That doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I think the fans, they get all caught up in that type of thing, aren't really fans anyway. They want to be owners, and we know what that connotation of owners is. So we're gonna leave it at that.
I will say this though. I was as a fan, I was disappointed when Mike Messina went to the Yankees. And then when he got his Hall of Fame bid, decided that he would be not going with, he would go empty hat with a blank hat because he said, he was half Orioles, half Yankees. And I'm like, you could have had a statue, been one of 6 Orioles, or you're going to be one of a million Yankees? Like, come on now. And you just going to go blank? Like, no, you should have went in the Orioles. So that was a little disappointing.
Hey, Brian, what Mike? Hey, Mike, what you sipping on over there? I see you took a shot of something. What you sipping on?
No, man, it's just this, man. It's nothing.
I
It's
thought it was
just
Nouveau. No, I think I saw somebody on Twitter say, "How did we survive the Nouveau?"
I was about to say, "Dang, okay."
Nah, man, we say that for Friday nights, man. Nah, it's Thursday.
Hey, after this type of week, man. But so what do y'all think? I mean, now that I got y'all here, look like Roger dropped off. What do y'all think about this Russell Wilson thing? It's going to be weird. Like, to me, if I believe, and this is just a thought, I'm not trying to come off as a shock jock. I do feel that if Russell Wilson leaves Seattle, they fall into irrelevance for the next decade. What do y'all think?
You want to go first, or you want me to take it?
Take it, Mike. I'm gonna come out. I want to see what you got, and I'm gonna follow up with you.
All right. As far as the Seattle Seahawks, yes, they will fall into irrelevancy. But eventually there will become a time where we talk about them again. But immediately, yes, there will be irrelevancy. And Russell Wilson, wherever he goes, success will follow. I don't care if he goes and plays for a team in the middle of Saskatchewan; they will be successful because he is a winner. I'm pretty sure every Chicago Bears fan is crossing their fingers and hoping and praying that he lands there.
That would be nice. He could easily be the best franchise quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I completely agree. He's been the best quarterback they had since Kyle Orton, and yeah, that was a joke.
Dang, forgot about Kyle Orton.
To me, from what I read and what I watched, Jim McMahon was just like a playboy, but he wasn't really a star. He just he was surrounded by greatness.
Right, that's true. He wasn't necessarily the flamboyant. Well, he's flamboyant, but he wasn't necessarily the statistics, and the way he played didn't necessarily lend itself to being the greatest, quarterback for that team, or in terms of putting up stats and things like that. Walter Payton was the man. That's just what it was.
Yeah. Brian, what you got?
Russell, listen, I know it's not fair for me to say it, but it only makes sense. Russell to Dallas makes the most sense in the world. Why? It's just a bigger stage. It's Dallas. It's regardless if they're winning or losing. It's Jerry's world.
Yeah.
It's just that Dallas really get primetime games. You know that the attendance is going to be big. I mean, everything in Dallas screams. At least Sierra Wilson, because I know Sierra's like, I'm tired of Seattle, Washington. Listen, I mean, think about it. You can be in 10-degree weather, or you can be in 8-degree weather almost most of the year. I think she was looking at the weather playing a factor. So I would say Dallas, the Giants. I don't think the Jets, because everybody's saying, oh, Robert Saleh's there, the culture's going to change. I don't see that just yet, but I think it's Dallas and the Giants. I know that people that are watching this, that are my friends, they're like, oh, I know Brian's going to say Dallas. But guess what? There's a reason why Dak is still what? Unsigned. And I think Russell Wilson plays a big part of this now. And Dallas could potentially franchise Dak, do a trade, maybe throw some extra snacks in there. And listen, I'm aboard the Russ bandwagon. I don't care. Like Brian, you said it perfectly. I don't have loyalty. I love Dak Prescott. But guess what happens? If I can get Russell Wilson, older, but I think it's an upgrade for Dallas. I'm going to roll with it.
I mean, I think he'll definitely, I mean, he's already marketable, right? So you just put him on a star. It's kind of, if you use a wrestling reference, it's the pitch that Vince McMahon gave to Dusty Rhodes. He told him, you know, you're already a star on your own. Come to the WWE and you could be a bigger star. Now, we all saw how that went. He put him in polka dots. I don't see Jerry Jones putting Russell Wilson in polka dots simply because Russell Wilson can get that thing that he's been praying for the longest, and that's that 4th Lombardi trophy under his regime. So it would be fun to watch, I think. I mean, he's already got weapons. The offensive line is clearly better than what he has in Seattle. So, and that was one of the things Dallas did right now. That line may be, you know, kind of needs some freshening from compared to what it was when, you know, DeMarco Murray. But who knows?
Hey, Brian, I got a quick question. You just gave me an idea now. All my podcasts going forward are at 10 o'clock at night now. You know why? My phone has not stopped vibrating. Nothing has stopped over the last 5 minutes. Look,
I love it.
I'm doing all nighttime podcasts from now on. No more in the middle of the day, I guess, for everybody. All straight nighttime.
Y'all make sure y'all tune in too.
I don't do mine until 8 o'clock 8 o'clock Central, which is 9 o'clock Eastern time. So yeah, so I just got off when you went on, Brian.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was sitting here working on some things, and I said, you know, let me go ahead and do this because I kind of had a headache, and I was like, let me do it. I've changed up my eating habits, so you know, I haven't had coffee in almost 2 weeks. It's driving me crazy. I haven't had any caffeine.
I hadn't had it since birth, man. I hadn't had it since birth.
Oh man, Kevin KCMO, thanks for the high five award. I really appreciate that. Coming from Kansas City. Yeah, so what y'all think about everything going on in the NBA right now? You know, we got the All-Star game, and I know a lot of people was upset about Devin Booker not getting in, but I think that was a political move because I think they knew he was going to get in. It's easier, in my opinion, to put Chris Paul in and say, all right, Devin Booker gets the first snubs, the first injury spot, as opposed to doing it the other way around. Because then I don't think Chris Paul gets in. What y'all think?
I'm still thinking on it. Go ahead, Brian. I'm still thinking on it.
I'll take it away. I mean, so I didn't get it. Everybody gets mad. Oh, Devin Booker should get it. You know, it's got to be booked. It's got to be booked. I think both divisions, the East and the West, are just so talented. It's impossible to really get it right. And everybody was like, won't they expand to 15 players? No, don't expand it. Right. This is the fun part about it, right? So guess what? If I'm Devin Booker, I still put in my mindset that I got snubbed, right? Even though I came in as a replacement, I got snubbed. So guess what I'm doing in the second half of the season? I'm taking notes, and I'm kicking ass out here on the court left and right every single day of the week. So I'm not mad at him getting snubbed. I'm more mad at Mike Conley. Mike Conley has never made an all-star game, and that's what makes me want to flip my table over because he is disrespecting the point guard in this league. Like, I'm ready to flip the table over now, but if I flip it over, I'm probably going to break some expensive stuff in here.
Yeah, you just got that mixer. You can't have that.
Yeah. I do that, man. I'm back in the hole again, deep in the hole.
Oh my goodness, man. I funny thing is I had a customer today and I just had the same conversation about Mike Conley. He was pumping up Mike Conley too. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, you win some and you lose some. It just is what it is. The Jazz already had two players and Rudy Gobert and Mitchell in the game. So I didn't think they were getting the third one. As far as Chris Paul is the president of the Players Association, right?
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. That was a little bit of something getting him in the game. But if you have to pick between him and Booker, I would have took Booker. But then again, you do see the record and the change of the record. They're 20
Mm-hmm.
and 11 and fourth in the Western Conference with him as a point guard. So it's kind of a plus and a minus. Are you going to look at the numbers? Or are you going to look how the team's performing? So in that instance, I get why they chose Paul. Then of course, the replacement with Booker going in for Davis, yes. And then of course, I've got some thoughts on the East too, because I've
Go
definitely
ahead.
had a few conversations on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so much talk about Trey Young. Trey Young should have been in the game. It's in his hometown. It's in his hometown. Well, you do have a hometown guy that's actually going to be playing in his hometown for the All-Star game. It's just not for the Atlanta Hawks. Jaylen Brown is coming back home to play his first All-Star game in Atlanta.
Oh,
So there you
oh,
go. You've got your
oh,
hometown guy.
oh God, Jaylen Brown. Oh, I
Career
wasted.
career year.
Yeah, but oh God, and it's good for him. I'm happy for him. I think as a Celtics fan, I think that Jaylen Brown always gets forced to take the back seat to Jason Tatum. But man, I
Oh, he does.
know like he doesn't. He said he doesn't even feel like an all-star right now because where they're at in the Eastern Conference. I'm happy for Jaylen. Again, I wanted to see maybe Trey get in. I took Trey as an MVP candidate coming in to this year, but I think what happened with Trey is Steph came back. See, when the originator comes back, everybody's like, "Oh, the OG back on the floor." Now I ain't worried about the YG because the OG's out there. So when Steph came back, I think it kind of took away because everybody knows what Steph was going to do or was looking forward to see what Steph was going to do. So I mean, again, Trey Young, again, take notes. You missed the All-Star game. You know what you do after the All-Star game? Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong, Trey Young.
Yeah, prove them wrong. I want to bring up Dez Bryant. So there was talks. He was vocal, and I know how Mike feels about this. And he obviously seen my frustration throughout the season with Greg Rollins. And Dez Bryant pretty much said just wasn't a good fit here in Baltimore. Do you think he hurt himself for another opportunity? And Brian, would you take him back in Dallas? Go to you first and then go to Mike.
No, I'm not gonna take him back in Dallas. I think that marriage is gone. I don't want to rekindle it. I don't want to bring another engagement ring out. I think I said it earlier on my podcast. What Dez was trying to say is, I don't want to be a block and wide receiver. And it's no jabs, no shade at Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson cannot throw the pass that Dez Bryant likes. And what is it? The back shoulder fade. You know who the back shoulder fade real well? Tom Brady. That's what Dez was trying to set himself up for, was to be like, yo, Tom, I can catch a fade in the end zone. Go ahead and toss that up to me. So Lamar has a lot of accuracy problems sometimes. He really doesn't throw the back shoulder fade well. And Dez is thankful for the opportunity, but that wasn't his type.
Still growing. My quarterback.
He's about to cry. That's my team.
Well, I'm about to take over for the rescue if you want me to, Brian. I got a few points.
But real quick. I just want to say this. We saw what happened with couldn't make those throws that Dez like either. Dak Prescott.
No, he couldn't. I'm agreeing. He couldn't.
Yeah, and that I think that may have kind of turned me off because I was on the Prescott bandwagon. You go back and look at like old tweets. I was on the Prescott bandwagon at that time, but for some reason that marriage, you know what it was too, and this is Dak running his mouth. If you remember when Dez got hurt, instead of him just saying everybody gonna step up, we're gonna continue to do what we're gonna do, he said something along the lines of Dez don't make this offense go.
Yeah.
And it's that little stuff, and that's what always irritated me about Dak Prescott. Now, I've been a little easy on him this year because the brother hurt his ankle or leg. So I was like, man, but it's always his mouth. Real quick, shout out to Information Man TV. Thanks for the award. I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Coming from California.
Now, if you haven't checked out Information Man show, y'all need to check that show out. That brother puts in work, man. He puts in work.
I'm subscribing to him right now.
Yes,
I'll tell you. I'll tell y'all this too. He gives it to you real. That's all I can. Y'all check him out one good time. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But as far as Dez Bryant, I mean, I think he's going to get another opportunity. I mean, he still can catch a fade pattern. He still can be dynamic in the red zone. He just never got those opportunities, and it wasn't because Lamar Jackson couldn't throw the football. If you see Lamar Jackson in his maturation when he was getting ready to enter the NFL, he actually matured into a better passer. However, now he's got Mr. Greg Roman, who has never, ever, ever developed a quarterback. Look what he did to Kaepernick. Kaepernick never developed as a passer. Who was the offensive coordinator? Greg Roman. Look in Buffalo. Who was the offensive coordinator there? Greg Roman. Who never developed a quarterback there? The Buffalo Bills. And look where he is now. He's in Baltimore, and he's got a running quarterback like Kaepernick was. Never developed him as a passer, and he might not develop Lamar Jackson as a passer. So what does that mean? Greg Roman is the common denominator. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. Get him out of Baltimore if you want Lamar to develop. Simple and plain.
Lamar gets so many. I like Lamar, but he gets so many passes. No number one wide receiver, Greg Roman. The run game isn't that good. The offensive line doesn't block for him well. What do we need? What do we want from Lamar Jackson?
I'll say this. Lamar can be better. I understand that. But what I also understand is Greg Roman is not going to help him be better. Because the thing is, it's on the player to develop themselves, yes. But it's also on a offensive coordinator to put him in great position to succeed. Prime example of that is you saw Ryan Tannehill was horrible when he was in Miami. They didn't have playmakers, things like that or whatever. He goes to Tennessee, takes over as a starter. Arthur Smith does things that he likes. Sure, you can say he had the running game, but he still had to thread a lot of those passes between two defenders and those type of things. And what Arthur Smith did was he placated things in the passing game to what made Ryan Tannehill better. And it got him paid, and there you go. So that's offensive coordinator's job, is to make the player better, not to, I guess, usher off blame into the players but when things don't work well.
And that's
Brian, before you go on, I got a question for you. For you. You're a Ravens fan. I got to ask you this question now because I think I know what happened. He came in, drafted, even though he was drafted high, he was still considered a project quarterback. He was considered he needed to sit a couple years, maybe 2 years, and then play. He won an MVP. I think the problem is that once he won the MVP, your level, your game has to stay at that level. It can't trickle back down into, oh man, he's a work in progress type quarterback. And I think that's where I come in and I get frustrated at. So do you think it's because of the MVP why I'm saying that we're making a lot of excuses for Lamar, or do you still believe that he's still a work in progress quarterback, even though he won most valuable player?
Well, I think what it was is, I think, again, we a lot of times put a lot of emphasis on numbers, and those were video game numbers, right? It's a few issues where you really look at it, you dig deeper. Few things that did happen that didn't happen in 2020 that happened in 2019. He had his superstar offensive lineman, Marshall Yonder, gone. He retired. Yonder was, is probably be Hall of Fame bound, at least definitely considered, right? So with that, you look at, all right, that's a big piece. Hayden Hurst, he's gone. Now, whether he didn't want to be here, that's a different story. But that's another, they had that 3 tight end set. So then they come down to 2 tight ends. no adjustments being made now, and then obviously no off season or whatever, right? Which everybody didn't have, but still, it's you still got to build that chemistry. So when you factor all these stuff in, not making excuses because he still had a good year. It's that, and I even said, if y'all remember at the beginning of the season, I said Lamar's not having fun. I was working the Bengals game on the sideline in Baltimore. Ravens won by they blew them out. It was the defense. Patrick Queen had a phenomenal game. I believe Marlon Humphrey had a pick. I know Queen had a pick. But just looking at his body reaction now, in my understanding, his friend had just got killed around that time. But up until that Dallas game, that was when I said, okay, he came back from COVID, but Lamar is back. Because looking at those other games, he just didn't look like he was having fun. So I just think it was another, and you saw it, he called out the coach. He said, man, it's like they know our plays. So maybe the first year was okay, this is my team. I'm embracing it, happy to be here. Second year was like, come on, we got to do something different because, you could come, as podcasters, as media people, we can come do this every game. I mean, every day, right? We know every time we got to evolve. Brian, you started taking calls. Mike, you started doing more video stuff. When I met you was doing a lot of writing, so I mean, shoot, I got a microphone and a small mixer myself. So we always try to evolve, and I think that's what it is. He was trying to evolve, and it felt like they wasn't, and that's where the frustration. Can he get better? Absolutely. Like you said, the back shoulder fade. That's something he got to work on. Throwing it to the outside. We know he got the inside down pat. So, it's definitely something I would love to see them address this offseason. I would, I saw somebody say they would hope the Ravens don't get Corey Davis. Not sure who they picking, but they definitely got to go out and get a wide receiver. The thing is, can you convince a receiver to come to Baltimore? And can you get Greg Roman out of his way? I personally think Greg Roman is on a short leash because remember when the Ravens had Cam Cameron, they lost the key game to the Washington football team, and after that happened, he got gone. So who knows?
I'll say this: Greg Roman is on a microscopic leash to me. And if Corey Davis steps 2 or 3 feet near the Baltimore Ravens organization, Michael Crabtree ought to call him with the quickness. Don't you do that? I had him twice. Don't do it. That's what he should be yelling.
Mediocre.
What up? Mike, you don't know this, Mike, but I've been listening to you like forever, like the last year about Greg Roman. I was like, Mike Patton did not never meet Greg Roman in person. He's squared up. He gonna tell him square up quick.
Funny part is I almost did. If the timing would have worked out, I would have actually met him in person. My cousin was playing for the 49ers. So the timing would have worked out. I kind of would have met him in person.
Was he on the Super Bowl team?
No, he was not.
Okay. Shout out to Quentin Congress for jumping in, talking and grubbing media. So make sure y'all give Talking and Grubbing Media a follow if you haven't done so. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the subscribe button myself.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's coming in from the land.
Yeah, yep, from the land, from Cleveland.
Bro, I've been to Cleveland once. Woo! Prayers to everybody that lives out there. Man, it took me it took me an hour or something just to get to like a Buffalo Wild Wings. Like I was like, oh no, I'm not driving an hour just to get drunk. What the world?
You gotta drive back or get somebody to take you back, hopefully.
And it's like 2 Uber drivers out there, like literally 2 Uber drivers.
Yikes.
Man, oh man. Yeah, I'll never forget Joel Embiid. I mean not Joel, Joakim Noah. What do y'all think about Glue Walton? A lot of people will call it for his head, saying it's time for the Kings to let him go. And as I see, he spazzed out earlier today.
Oh, he did. I want to see this. I want to see this. I mean, I'm excited. I actually want to see this.
Let me see. I can pull it up. That's the beauty of Haps.
And quick, when I was downtown. I think I was downtown Cleveland. I believe so. I can't remember exactly where I was. It was for work though, and I was downtown Cleveland. So
I have never been to Cleveland.
There it is. Hold on, let me pull it in. Where is it? Oh,
I'm like looking around and like I don't see it.
Yeah, I must can't share it if
And I don't know. Hey, I got an Android, so I guess I just got this update on the mobile version. It is wild, man. Wow, I like it.
yeah, I don't even see it. I'm trying to present it. Oh, there it is. I'm tripping.
I still don't see it anywhere. I guess on the mobile version.
Man, look, Luke Walton got naked pictures of somebody because he keep getting jobs. Like Luke Walton got naked pictures of the GM, naked pictures of the owner. I don't know who he. Man, listen, he can't coach. And let me tell you the honest truth: if his name was Luke Davis, Luke Smith, Luke Jones, he would have never gotten a job. Think about it. He got fired from LA, and then one day later, he got another job. Like
with the rival.
How did you get fired? Matter of fact, you didn't even go on Indeed and apply for the job. You just went in Monday, t-shirt and joggers on, and was like, "Yo, I'm the coach now, right?" They're like, "Yeah, you the coach, Luke. Why not?"
Yeah, how about that though? How I mean, nepotism maybe.
Man, hey, I'm gonna be honest. It couldn't be one of us. We couldn't go in there Sunday and get married Monday.
Can I bring the ray of sunshine to him being the coach in Sacramento?
What's that?
The ray of sunshine is that's where careers go to end. So maybe his is probably going to end as a head coach too. So, there we go.
Oh wow, that's how you tell them how you feel, man. Tell them how you feel. Sheesh. Yeah. And you know, I've rooted for him.
While a guy like
you said what?
No. While a guy like Darvin Ham and Sam Cassell and Wes Unseld Jr., these guys haven't even getting the opportunity to sniff the NBA sideline. But this man got 2 jobs. Wow.
And high profile jobs. You know, you could say the Kings. I mean, it's in California, so you know, and obviously the Lakers. You know, we knew it was the Lakers. And this he said. Talking. You know, Quentin Congress. Excuse me. Said Walton keeps on getting jobs for a flukish half season. Anyone could have coached that Warriors team. You know, what was they 24-1? 24-0 at one point. So it's like, come on now. All you had to do is tell it was Draymond was the coach. He was the heart and soul of that organization. You know, when Draymond had everybody in order, everything flows smoothly.
It's not hard to tell Stephen. It's not hard.
Yeah, you just go out there and do what you do.
Man, you know, hey, it wasn't hard for Luke Walton to tell Draymond Green to go get that quadruple single for me.
Hey, come on now.
And you know, I'm calling quadruple singles because, you know, I'm adding their technicals in that.
You're not Draymond slander, man.
Yeah, I Luke on the sideline with the Warriors was like, 1, 2, 3, go do what you do. And then everybody's like, we gotta play. I got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They can do whatever.
That's true.
God.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it. I said, hold on real quick. It said, yeah, Sam Cassell should have been a coach years ago. That's true. Walton keep getting chances because his pop's pulling strings. Absolutely. Shout out to Antoine Smith for tuning in.
Smitty.
Shout out to Kerry Wood for subscribing. Appreciate that. Any parting thoughts before we get out of here?
Hey,
I was ready
I've got
for 6 more hours. I had 6 more hours in me, Brian. I was ready. I'm up.
Man, he gotta go to work in the morning, man.
I call out. I got PTO. I call out. I got PTO. I don't care. Hope my boss ain't looking at me right now. Oh God, set up.
It was a joke. It was just a Friday night joke. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, parting shots, I guess. Wow, I need to find out if my last name is like Unseld or something like that, or if it's West or something. It's to get some kind of nepotism going on for me. maybe I got some Indian in my blood somewhere or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. But hey, seems like nepotism wins when it comes to the NFL, NBA, and coaching in general.
It's a whole different topic for me, brother. I told you, if you get me going with that, ain't none of us going to sleep. So I'm trying to make sure y'all go. Nah, man. Hey, Brian, man. Always, thanks for your leadership role with stuff like this, man. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, you like the dude that keep me under control sometimes. Because I get pissed off, and you drag me back and be like, "Come on, bro, work with me." So I can say I appreciate it, and I'm glad I fixed some of the problems from the other night because I don't know what was happening, but I was 2 seconds away from calling Verizon, being like, "Yo, come get this router, come get everything out of here. I'm not paying you no more money."
I know. We spend our money on this thing called the internet, and it has a nerve not to be stable. And then my beef with Comcast, they trying to cap the internet. You make you pay for unlimited plan when they know everybody working remote. Come on now. But that's a whole nother story. Shout out to Roger for tuning in, for jumping on for a little bit as we get ready to get out of here. Make sure if y'all haven't done so, subscribe, download Haps TV. Also, subscribe to the Wrestling Realm 10-year anniversary. You can also support by going to buymeacoffee.com/Wrestling Realm. You support the show as little as $5. And make sure you tune in tomorrow to Break It Through the Glass Ceiling, as I have Stephen Michael Thompson Jr. on there, as he will come on and pretty much give a testimony about his career. Until the next time, folks, I'm Brian H. Waters. Make sure you follow me each and everywhere on every single platform. It's just said that way, at Brian H. Waters. And as the AEW heavyweight champion of the world would say, goodbye and good night.